Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. We fresh off a run, you know what I'm saying, in this 100-degree weather out here in Texas, man. I'm feeling good. I'm energized. Feel what I'm saying? And I just saw that, ARTUR BETERBIEV versus DMITRY BIVOL is official for October 12th in Saudi Arabia. Being Riyadh season, you know what I'm saying, being put on by, the Minister of Entertainment over there in Saudi Arabia, the brother Turki Alalshikh, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Big Turk. I call him Big Turk because he out here, you know what I'm saying, stepping on motherfuckers' turf and making big moves and giving the fans the fights that we want to see, And Shakur Stevenson just got added to that undercard, defending his title versus Joe Cordina, who is coming off of a stoppage loss to Anthony Kakachi. I saw that fight. That was a big upset. Kakachi went out there and did his thing, man, and salute to him because Cordina was supposed to win that fight. So this is a good bounce back opportunity for Cordina. How he's automatically. I mean, I believe he was a champion. Was he a champion? Like an interim or something like that. Kakachi got some type of title off of him, but Cordina is, right there in a position to get back in a champion position, and he got a big task ahead of him versus Shakur Stevenson. So he got a lot to prove. Shakur Stevenson, as we know, being one of the most hated fighters in the sport right now because of his style, because of, how he talk. People just got a lot of disdain for Shakur Stevenson. A great fighter, very skilled fighter, but of course, he has things that he got to work on, and I feel like this is a fight that could help Shakur Stevenson get back into that groove of putting on phenomenal performances. I think he could possibly get a stoppage off of Cordina. Stylistically, this guy's right there for him to do whatever you want to do. It's just going to be up to Shakur Stevenson, whether or not he going to stand in the pocket, let his hands go, not step back a whole foot when he's trying to evade, be able to swim without getting wet. He has the ability to do that. I've seen it before, but he's just going to have to show that. So, but going back to the big fight, though, DMITRY BIVOL versus ARTUR BETERBIEV. This is arguably the best fight in the sport of boxing, depending on what you like, depending on what type of fights you like to see. When you think about it, man, it's an incredible thing. This fight was already supposed to happen, but ARTUR BETERBIEV had an injury in camp, so he had to drop out. So this is a fight that Turki Alalshikh had already had on the bill to bring to the fans. And this is a fight that has been in the making for 7-8 years. These guys are both from Russia, and both guys are pound-for-pound talents. ARTUR BETERBIEV is the #1 power puncher and knockout artist in the sport right now. 100% KO ratio. Nobody really can stand in a fire with him. You got DMITRY BIVOL, who is coming off of a stoppage in his last fight versus an undefeated young fighter, a guy that was actually supposed to bring some type of smoke to him, and Bivol went in there and didn't respect shit he had and put that hammer on him. You feel me? Went out there and stopped him and got his first stoppage in like 6 years or something like that. It was a while since Bivol had got a stoppage. So I think this is the perfect time for this fight to be happening, because now, even though Bivol isn't necessarily a knockout artist, him coming off of that performance like that, it presents the threat of action and a possibility that he could hurt BETERBIEV, even though we know BETERBIEV got an iron chin. As far as what we see, we know that he's physically one of the most strongest and dominant fighters in the sport, and we know what his power looked like, and the dude can box too. We seen what he did versus Alexander Vasek when Vasek was in his prime, and Vasek is a really skilled boxer. So this guy can box, he can do it all. It's gonna be a great fight, man. But I just want to ask y'all, man, like with all of the people, all of the fans out here who is speaking against Turki Alalshikh and the things that he's trying to do, like, we got Undisputed at heavyweight. Think about how long we've been trying to get Undisputed at heavyweight. The last Undisputed champion at heavyweight was who? Lennox Lewis. Before Alexander Usyk just beat Tyson Fury for it. Remember when we had Deontay Wilder with the WBC title and Anthony Joshua with all of the other titles for a while, and we could not get the undisputed fight secured because, you know, this promotional outfit, this promoter, this fighter, you know, guys being apprehensive about putting it all on the line, guys feeling like they either not being paid handsomely enough or, you know, some guys just didn't want to fight. You feel me? And you can blame it on whoever you want to blame it on. I know the history. I remember what happened. You feel what I'm saying? But we don't really know what's going on behind closed doors. Nonetheless, the fights didn't happen. And a lot of that shit have to do with ego. A lot of that shit have to do with people not being on the same page. A lot of that shit have to do with personnel in the sport and these actual fighters and the big wigs and shit not having the best interest of the fans in the sport at heart. But now we got a guy like Turki Alalshikh who is willing to put a bag up, who's willing to possibly take a loss. I know he ain't just trying to throw no money down the drain, but he's willing to invest in the sport of boxing because he's genuinely a fan and he genuinely wants to tap into that market, into this market, and put on the best fights for the fans. So I just don't understand how people can call themselves boxing fans and be against Turki Alalshikh, be against Undisputed at heavyweight, be against Undisputed at 175, when this been one of the best fights that could be made in the sport for years. And this is the first time that it's a realistic possibility. And then you get Shakur Stevenson on the undercard of this. Like, typically, the way shit typically goes in the sport of boxing, when you get a huge fight like this, like, go back to Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. Who was really on that undercard? Feel what I'm saying? Go back to Earl Spence versus Terrence Crawford. Who was really on that undercard for real? Feel what I'm saying? But normally you get a big fight that people want to see and they skimp on the undercard. But you got Undisputed at light heavyweight, and you got a pound for pound caliber fighter like Shakur Stevenson fighting on the undercard, along with a host of other talented fighters that's going to be on the undercard as well. So I'm excited, man. We're going to break this fight down more in depth as it gets closer. You know, hopefully both guys can make it to the fight healthy. You dig what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm excited about this fight, man. About time we put an end to the wait and the anticipation and all the who's the better fighter and all of the speculation and shit. We finally get to see who is the best at 175, bruh. And hopefully this opens up an opportunity for a guy like David Benavidez, you know, because it don't look like he gonna get that fight with Canelo. It opens up an opportunity for him to make a splash at 175 and get in there with one of these guys. So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. How do you feel about this fight? Just at first glance, who you think is gonna win? Do you think the injury from Beterbiev is kind of takes away from what you originally thought if you had him winning? Does the stoppage victory from Bivol in his last fight kind of give you a little bit more confidence that he's gonna win this fight? Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.